Everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So I'm excited to share this with you today. So this is a bracelet I made using the beads from the Beading School Academy Winter Tail box. And I just think it came out so pretty. I've learned some new techniques here that I'm going to share with you. It's a component bracelet, so you know there's lots of stops and starts, and you can also, each component can be stopped at several different points along the way, depending on, you know, how elaborate you want it to be. So this is what it looks like. So pretty. Really had fun making this. So stay with me. We'll get a materials list going and we'll get started. Okay, let's get a materials list going. So I've got some 11-0 seed beads from, all the beads are from the box. So I'm using the bronze, the gold, and then 15-0 in a bronze. And then I have the Miyuki drop here in bronze. We've got a I think this is a Preciosa pearl. We've got some bicones, 3mm bicones. We've got both. We're using both of the mini gem duos. We've got this clasp. I only had one, so here on here. I've got, we're using at least 5. It depends on your wrist size, or 6 or 7, whatever you need, of the 3 8mm chatons that are in this box. And we're using some of these chatons. These are 6mm and they're in a cloth setting, so we'll be playing with that as well. You'll need some 8-pound Fireline. I'm using black satin, and a, you know, you can have a little case of 10, 12, and 10, 11, and 12 size beading needles. Let me move this out of the way a little bit. Anything I forgot, I will add on the description box in the video, so please don't forget to check that out. I'll put a link. I don't know if this box is available anymore, but I'll put a link to all the beads separately that I can find on the Beading School Academy website. I'll put a link to their website, and if the box, like I said, is there, I'll put a link to the box. All right, so let's clear this off and get started. Okay, let's get started. So thread your needle with about, I don't know, close to 3 feet of thread, maybe a little less. Put on a stop bead in the middle, but I want you to push it up a little bit towards the needle so you have less thread after your stop bead and towards the needle, and a few inches more after the tail thread, because we'll be using the tail thread to do some embellishing, and the bezel. So I picked up and dropped down to my stop bead 2 11-0s and a mini gem duo, and I used the dark bronze here. So don't get your dark bronze and your light bronze mixed up like I did. I actually had them in separate piles and then they got all mixed up. And for me, it was hard to tell the difference. So if I do mess up and put a dark where a light should be, you know, just make sure you're doing it right. Okay, 2 11-0s mini gem, 2 11-0s mini gem, 2 11-0s mini gem, 2 11-0s and mini gem. That's what I have. This is what I have. I've reinforced. Here's where my reinforcing ended. I just kept coming around a little bit just to make sure it's nice and snug. And I'm exiting the bottom hole of a mini gem duo, just like that. So I'm just going to sew through the top hole. So this is where you're going to be. This is what I have so far. So I'm exiting the top hole of my mini gem duo. So I'm going to pick up an 11-0, the dark bronze color. So these are all dark bronze. I'm going to pick up the dark bronze color and then a light bronze, but the light bronze I'm putting on so the bottom is facing up. So you see when I turn it like that, so when we do the bezel, I'm going to turn, this one's going to come up here. So you want that sort of upside down there. So this one's right side up, this one's upside down, this one's right side up. So I have a dark bronze, a light bronze, a dark bronze. The middle one is with the flat side facing up, and another 11-0. So that's what I have. I'm just going to sew through the top hole of this mini. So when I put it on, this is what it looks like. So you see how this is right side up, this is right side up, and this is upside down. So when I do my bezel, this is going to come forward. Okay, so you're just going to repeat that all the way around. Okay, I'm putting on my last group of 11-0 mini, 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 and 11-0. And I'm just going to sew through this one right here. And I'll just go on and sew through the next mini gem duo. And so this is what I have so far. So when I kind of pull it like this, all these center minis are going to pop up, and that's where we're going to put our bezel. So what I want you to do at this point is just reinforce all the way around, and then we'll move on to the bezel. So I've reinforced all the way around. Here's my thread, and so I came around, it's nice and snug. So I'm exiting a mini right here. It doesn't matter which one, as long as it's, you know, one of the two side ones. And I'm just going to sew through the top hole of that mini just to move that thread out of the way. We'll get back to that thread in a little bit. I'm exiting, so I've taken my stop bead off and threaded my needle. You know, the other needle for the outside is, you know, just put it aside. So I'm exiting these 11-ohs in the center. I just want to be exiting a top hole of this mini duo right here. So wherever you're exiting, if you're not exiting in the same place, just make sure you get there. So I'm going to sew through the bottom hole of that mini duo, mini gem duo, and I'm going to sew through the top hole of that mini right there. So this is where the bezel is going to go on. We'll get to these guys that are sticking up later. So we're going to start here. I'm going to work through these 4 beads. Okay, so I'm exiting the top hole of one of these 4. So 1, 2, 3, or 4. Exiting right here. I'm just going to pick up 7 15-ohs, and I'm going to sew through the top hole of the next one right here. So that's going to put 7 beads in front of this sort of loose mini gem right here. So you're just going to repeat that all the way around. 7, come through here, 7, come through here, etc. Okay, putting on my last group of 7. So exiting here, moving the cat hair. There we go. Exiting here. I'm just going to sew through that original one that I came out of. Just like that. And that's going to complete just this round of 15-ohs that I put on. That's what it looks like. I'm just going to sew up through the first 4 15-ohs of that first group of 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. So now I'm set up to put some more beads on. Okay, gonna pick up 4 15-ohs, and I'm going to sew up through bead number 4 of the next group of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4 of that next group of 7. So we're just getting that set up for the bezel. So let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4 15-ohs. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. The next group of 7. There you go. Like that. And at this point you can pop your stone in, see how we're doing. And then you continue with putting groups of 4 for the last couple of areas right there. Coming down to the end, so I'm picking up my last group of 4 15-ohs, and I'm going to sew through that original number 4 bead that I started from. Just get my needle in there. There we go, like that, to complete this round, like that. And when I give it a pull, this is what it looks like. I'm going to reinforce this, so I'm exiting that middle bead right there, 15-oh. I'm just going to sew up through the next 4. I know it's hard to see these dark, very dark colors, but they're so pretty. So just the group of 4. I'm going to skip the middle, this one, and I'm going to sew up the next group of 4. So just the 4 that I put on, I'm going to reinforce through those. Now be careful you don't get caught on anything. Do you see how that tightens it up? Next group of 4. Next group of 4. You're just doing that all the way around until you are nice and snug. I've sewn through everything. You know, I've reinforced through those groups of 4. So I'm exiting one of the groups of 4 here. I'm going to pick up an 11-oh, and I'm going to sew through that loose gem duo that's right there, the one we put on upside down. And then I'm going to pick up another 11-oh, and I'm going to sew through the next group of 4. Just not the middle one, but just that the 4 we put on before. See that? And that's going to place those 2 11-ohs on there. And you see how they're placed kind of in a different direction? So I like how that worked out. Then you're going to do that again. Pick up an 11-oh, sew through the mini gem duo, pick up an 11-0, and sew through the those four you put on, skipping that, the corner one, like that, and then have your next group of 2 on, and you're just going to continue that for your last 2 gem duos. Putting on my last 11-0, so I put this one on, came through the mini gem duo, last 11-0, I'm just going to sew through these 4, the 4 15-0s right there, and this is what it looks like so far. Now you can stop at this point, so there are many places that you can stop and make it an earring, a pendant, or just continue on with the outside when we get to it. So but we have a couple more embellishments I'm going to put on, but I think that looks pretty just the way it is. All right, so let's continue. Let's add another embellishment on. So you've put on the 11-0s. I'm exiting, make sure you're exiting one of the top holes of the mini gem duo. Now this is going to be annoying, so you can leave this off if you want. Just going to go look down in there, and I'm going to sew through these 3 15-0s right there. See, they have 3 here and 3 there, like that. I'm going to pick up an 11-0, a Miyuki drop, and an 11-0, and then I'm going to find the 3 on this side. So you're going to have a little faith that you're getting it, or look in there really closely. See that? Like that. Go up those 3, put that on. Going to come through the mini gem duo, and then down, and I'll move I'll move it over in a second, down the next 3, like that, and then you're going to pick up an 11-0, a drop, and an 11-0, and you're going to sew up through the next 3, and you might have to maneuver your needle a little bit here, like that, and then you're going to sew through the mini gem duo, and you're going to do that a couple more times, and then we'll continue. Putting on my last 11-0, drop 11-0, here we go. I'm going to come right through this gem duo and then through this 11-0. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. We're going to do one more embellishment. Sitting that 11-0, I'm going to pick up a 3mm bicone, and I'm going to sew through right up this way through this next 11-0. Then I'm going to pick up another 3mm bicone. Whoops, no I'm not. I'm going to sew through this guy, the gem duo, and this one, and then I'm going to pick up another 3mm bicone. And make sure you don't get caught. Sometimes, with these darker beads, it's hard to see. Well, for me anyway. Okay, go through this one. And sew through this one. So the mini gem and the 11-0. I think I got caught on that one. See? Okay, and then 3mm bicone up. This one. For this one. You got it. And this one. 3mm bicone. Up this guy. This 11-0. Like that. And then this is what we have. So here is your completely embellished piece. So you can, as I said, you can stop anywhere along the way, but you're going to make, and you're just going to sew this thread in. So you're going to make, and then, you're going to make as many as you need for your bracelet, and then we will use these side beads to sew the units together, and we'll put a little embellishment around. Okay, so have fun. And I'll meet you back here in a little bit. We're going to do a little embellishment on the top and the bottom of the unit because we're going to put them together like this. So I want a little something top and bottom, just brightens it up a little bit, looks pretty, and it solidifies the unit. So here you're using your outside thread now, and we're exiting the top hole of a mini gem duo. I'm going to pick up 3 11-0. So if you're not exiting there, just make sure you either add a thread or you move your thread over there. I'm going to go through the top hole of the next one. Then I'm just going to do a circle by going through the bottom hole, the top hole of that one. Interior one. There's plenty of room in there. or you can always change your needle size, the bottom hole of this one, top hole, and through the first 11-0, skipping the middle one, sewing through the next 11-0, kind of help it, that middle 11-0 pop up so you get a little picot. Then we're just going around again. So here and through this one. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. Now you want to get to the bottom one. So if you have enough thread, you can move your thread. All I did was, so I'm mixing the bottom hole here. I just moved my thread through the 11-0, the mini, the 11-0, the mini, this little, the top of this mini, the bottom hole of this one, the 11-0. I just moved my thread all the way around until I was coming out of this one again. And then so when I turn it over, so you're exiting this one, then you go through the top hole, put your 3 on, and go through again until you get a nice little picot. And this is what it looks like. So you're going to do that on all your pieces, and then come back and we will sew them together. Okay, so I've situated my pieces so that the opening here with the 2 mini gem duos are facing each other, and here you see my embellished ends are facing on the, on the top and the bottom on this side. So I came through this mini gem duo here. I picked up an 11-0 and I went directly through the hole on the unit, picked up another 11-0, and I came up here, see, up through this mini gem duo right there. Next up, so I've come out of that top hole of that mini gem duo. I just took my needle and I sewed down through the bottom hole of that one, the bottom hole, or the hole that's like directly across from that one, in this middle one. I don't know if you want to call it top or bottom, but right through, and through the bottom hole of this mini gem duo. So just coming down those beads, see that, like that. I pull my needle through, I'm exiting right there in that mini gem duo. I'm just going to sew through this hole here. I'm just going to organize my piece so it's straight. There we go. I'm going to pick up an 11-0 and I'm going to sew through the hole over here, so this side, like that. This is what it looks like when I've sewn through. And I'm doing this because I think it's easier for you to see it all in one piece as I put these on. So tell me if this is helpful. So here, and now I'm picking up an 11-0 and I'm going to sew through this way on this mini duo on this side. So I'll pull this through and I just want to show you what it looks like, what the thread path looks like. So you see how that comes out? This is what the thread path is going to look like. My next step, I'm just going to sew down these beads just like I did before. So down the other side of this one, and then this one, and then we'll continue. Okay, so I've just put my needle through I'm going to call it the bottom hole of this gem duo, this one here, the one that's sort of going straight up, and then this one, so right straight through. I'm coming out the bottom. I'm trying to keep it on the mat for you. So I came out the bottom, and see when I pull, that's how it's going to sit. Okay, so play with that, get that done, and come back and we'll start embellishing around it. Okay, so this is what we have so far. This is what it looks like. Now I did sew my tail thread in because it'll tighten one end, and you don't have to worry about constantly tightening your tail thread. So if you want to go ahead and tighten and sew in your tail thread, go ahead and do that now. Okay, so we're going to surround this little crystal, and the way we're going to do it is we're going to put a couple of rounds of 11-0s and then some pearls. So I used gold on the bottom and then bronze on the top, and then I put the pearls on. But I'm just going to switch to just contrasting colors so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to consider these 4 beads that are on the side of the claw here my connection beads. So I'm going to pick up 2 11-0s. I'm going to see if I can just come in a little bit tighter. I'm exiting here. I'm going to sew through the other one on the other side, like that. It's going to place those two. You don't have to pull it tight. I'm going to place those two right in between those two connecting beads. Now I've picked up 3 of my 11-ohs, and I'm going to sew through. I'm exiting here. I'm going to sew through the connecting bead over here. Just gently place those down. And then I'm just going to repeat that. 2 here and 3 here. So I'll let you do that and come back and we'll continue. Putting on my last 3 like that, and I went through the connecting bead. So this is, I'm pushing it up with my finger a little bit. So this is what it's going to look like so far. You have 3, 3, and 2, and 2, and you're exiting this connecting bead right here. Pick up 2 of my another color bead. So you'll either be using the gold or the bronze, or just one bronze or one gold, whatever you like, whatever color you like. But I'm doing this for contrast. So picking up 2, I'm exiting here. I'm just going to sew through my next connecting bead. Like that. So I'm just placing those on top. Then when I'm just going to move it around a little bit, that's what it looks like. Then I'm going to pick up 3. And I'm going to sew through the next connecting bead. So I'm just going to pop those on top of the beads I already have on there. Don't worry about if there's spaces. We want space there. So this is what it looks like. So you're going to do your next 2 and then 3, and then we'll continue. Putting on my last 3 beads, making sure they pop on top. Going through my connection bead. So this is what it looks like. I've, again, 3, 3, 2, 2. And then I just want you to advance through these the first 2 that you put on, those 2 green ones. Or the 2 color in the corner there. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And between this top layer of beads, you're going to have a big gap here. And this connecting bead is down at the bottom here. So we're not going to use that anymore. So I'm exiting the 2 greens. I'm just going to pick up my 4mm pearl and sew through those 2. I'm going to pick up my 4mm pearl and pop it right in there. So that's where we've made a little space for the 4mm pearl. So let's do that again. 4mm pearl for these 2. And you'll be reinforcing this so we can straighten it all out. And then you're just going to continue all the way around putting on your pearls. It's loose right now. And then you're going to reinforce everything you just put on. Looks like last pearl going on. Like that. So this is how it's going to look, and then do your reinforcing all the way around. Okay, this is what it looks like. So we're going to do a little bit of reinforcing on the back just to tighten it up a little bit. I mean, it's a very flexible piece anyway, but I just think the back needs a little bit of reinforcing. So I flip my piece over. I'm exiting a group of 3, and see, this is what the back looks like. I mean, I guess you could just sew your threads in and leave it, but I'm just going to do a little bit back here. So I'm exiting here. Just going to sew through these 3, and then I'm going to go back up through these 3 again. So I'm just going to kind of connect the ends a little bit. So like that, and then back down one more time. Like that. And then I'm going to skip over to these 2. Like that. I mean, you could maybe put a 15-0 there if you want, but I didn't on the other, but think about that. So here, and then I'm going to go down these 3 on this side. Like that. Up these. So I'm just doing the same thing on this side that I did on the other side. And then down. Like that. Then I'm going to skip over to these 2. Like that. And then I'm going to come down these 3. I'm going to get caught everywhere. Okay, and then when I give it a pull, here we'll go back. Just want to tighten it up a little bit. This way. Just to, you know, it's got to be a nice square for me. And then this way. I think that'll probably do it. Like that. Okay, there we go. That works. And then you have the back sort of done. And so when I turn it over, it gave it a little bit more, you know, I don't know, maybe rigidity a little bit. All right, so you can do that on the back and get each one of your pieces done. And I'm not hating the green actually here. Who knows? So that you'll have all your pieces sewn together like this, and then we'll put the clasp on. So we're gonna add a hook and eye clasp here, and I love how it looks. I think it's the perfect clasp for this bracelet, and it holds very well. So for some reason I can't find the clip of what I did, but it's a super simple connection, so I'll just do it with you here. So I've just threaded my needle with a foot of thread, put on a stop bead, left enough of a tail to sew in. I've just come through the top hole of the edge mini gem duo. I added 11-0. I came through the clasp, and I love that it's facing in this direction, so I can go right through. Added another 11-0, came through the top hole of this mini gem duo. I picked up 3 11-0s, and I went through the bottom hole of this mini gem duo. This one here, the bottom hole of this guy, just straight through the line here, and then I came out here of this mini gem duo. And all I did was add 3, just like I did on the other side, 3 11-0s, and I came through the top hole. And then I just reinforced everything I did, and here's what it looks like on the back, and I just sewed my threads in on the back because it was just easier. So wherever it's easy to sew your threads in. And you're gonna do that for both ends because both ends are exactly the same. All right, so sorry about that, but I think it's very simple to get this clasp on. All right, so get that done, finish your other side, and come back and we'll finish up. Okay, we're back and we're done, and here's our bracelet. I love how it came out. I'd love to wear this just on a very thin black sweater. I think it changes how it looks. So you see more of the color and the gold if you wear it on black, but if you wear it on skin, you see more of the bronze coming out, or more of all the colors coming out. So really, really enjoyed making this one. If you love a door knocker earring, you could just door knocker this. I mean, of course, you're going to change that interior because there is a earring back here, so you can actually put an earring back here. You can actually make this component a little bit smaller, and this, you know, keep this one the same size and stop sooner on this one, so you have a nice little door knocker earring. And I was thinking, just as it is, you can curve this, make it longer, and you can curve this and make a necklace just by, you know, adding some beads here. I think it would curve beautifully on the neck. So you'll have a few options here of what you'd like to do, or just take one component and make an earring out of it. You know, just add the 3 11-0s here and on the other side and make a pair of earrings. So you have lots of options here. So here you go. Here's your bracelet. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you make it and post it on Facebook. I want to thank you so much for being with me, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.